All right, peace, family. This is Brandon B. Dixon, and you tuned into another episode of the Power of Ownership Podcast. We're live here on this Sunday. I got my co-host Stephen Contreras with me.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Yes. I see that we just hit live on YouTube, so let's go ahead and start the show. My name is. Let me get because I don't want to keep y'all too long today, by maybe 30 minutes, but quick introduction. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a published author, mortgage broker, community activist, so on and so forth. Entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. My book, Sales, the Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now. Go ahead. It's not actually on sale this weekend, 1333. And it's $6 off. So it's on sale from Friday to Monday. So go ahead, copy one. I had like 3 left in stock. So don't worry. If you get back ordered, I'll have it out as soon as possible. So I still have some in stock. So don't worry about the 3. So go ahead and cop that right now. 1333. Let Steven introduce himself, and then let's go ahead and go in.
Hey guys, I'm Stephen Contreras here. I'm a geologist here in Houston, Texas. I'm a studier of the arts and sciences, kind of like a Renaissance man. I'm here to help teach and spread the love, each and every Sunday, just with this show that we're doing. So thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Got you. Also, like I said, go to my website, HOCmortgage.com if you need a mortgage. Now is mortgage season. Get ready for 2020. Again, the Power of Ownership Podcast, we talk about ownership of not only properties, but intellectual properties, businesses, and then we branched it over to the owning the mind, body, and soul. If you watch my blogs, my daily blogs, my vlogs, should I say, which is 8 All Positive Energy, I talked this week briefly about hard work and dedication and how it trumps, or for lack of a better word, it outdoes and it kicks the butt of talent every time. That's what we're going to talk about this week. People that's the workaholics, the gym rats, the so on and so forth. First, before I get into that, I want to let Steve, if you watch the previous show, we talked about goals, and this all ties into the same show. We talked about setting our goals. Now we're going to talk about the work ethic to achieve those goals. But I want to have a segment real fast, a few minutes with Steve talking about his goals for 2020 and how he formats them and how he plans to achieve them for this year. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a good start to the decade. 2020 is going to be a big year. I'm 29 years old, right? And so this next decade, this next year is going to be fun. This is the bridging year for myself. How I'm going to set my goals is going to be on a week-to-week basis, where I'm going to be able to hit each goal each week that I'm trying to set, to try to not stumble. I'll be able to keep on reaching, setting the mark higher and higher. And say if I don't hit one exactly that I learned, and then I will be able to hit it that following week. But that's going to be my strategy for 2020. Kind of not looking back in the mirror, trying to better myself each and every day, and just try to honestly live my best life. Get rid of my bad habits is probably my number one overall goal, is just washing all my bad habits away and trying to live my best life to the fullest.
Give them 1 or 2 specific goals that what you got planned on accomplishing for 2020.
Just I guess, let's see, it's hard, right? Because I don't know if I can talk about some things, but
something easy.
Being able to bench over 225 pounds and squatting over 280 pounds are 2 of my goals for this year.
And what's your methodology for getting there? What are you going?
Working out at least 3 to 4 days a week, and honestly sticking to it. Right now I'm at 155 pounds, and so I got a long ways to go. And my squat's okay. It's not very good. My bench is a little better, but so those are my 2 workout goals: being able to physically get as fit as I can. I've been doing high intensity training, so being able to sit in an ice bath for over 3 minutes, that's one of my goals too.
So. Right. Give them one more, on a non-workout tip.
Let's see. On the business side, just being able to just start and try to reach my goal of what I'm trying to do. It's hard because I'm employed by certain people too. So like just being able to change my business mindset, I guess, is probably my overall goal. Being able to bring things into fruition too. Being able to create uh, my goals and make them into reality.
Gotcha. Well, that's what we're gonna talk about today, like how hard work and dedication beats talent, but every time. And I started the vlog off this week, and I only did one because a lot of people I'm just being busy with the quote unquote holiday, this week. So I figured that a lot of people won't be watching Instagram except when they're supposed to be spending time with their family. They're going to be watching Instagram and watching the game. So I didn't do that many vlogs this week just to cut down on, you know, I just didn't have time. So, but I talked about that Monday night game, Lamar Jackson, how he performed, and again, he's probably the leading MVP candidate. And he, to me, he's mega talented, but to me, seeing Michael Vick, me being a Saints fan, I see Michael Vick twice a year. So, with them being in our division, him playing for the Atlanta Falcons, I think Michael Vick was just a little bit more talented coming out than Lamar Jackson was. The reason why Lamar Jackson is seeing so much success so quickly is because of his work ethic. And his dedication is different than Mike Vick was. Mike Vick was solely talent. It's coming out now that since he's retired that he didn't study the playbook. He didn't watch film. All the CDs, the DVDs that you had homework to watch. Say watch this film. He just sat in the back of his car. Didn't show up late to practice. Show up late, but he was just uber talented. And that talent got him a couple of Pro Bowls. It got him a few wins, and it yielded him mediocre success. So Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, he's talented, but the talent backed with hard work, the film study, the coaching, the getting better. Now he's yielding. He's putting up MVP numbers. Mike Vick was never in the MVP conversation. Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson, his first full year, this is his second year in the league, but he only played like the last four games last year. But now this is his first full year, and he's in the MVP conversation. He made a leap and bound from last year to this year. He's not even throwing the same. So he worked all year to get better at what he's doing right now. Leadership skills, the whole nine, the whole team love him. If you remember Mike Vick, I don't know, Mike Vick probably a little bit before your time, right?
No, I remember him.
Right.
I watched him when I was a little kid, and then I remember him a lot when he's on the Eagles too.
Right. Well, Mike Vick, he didn't develop those leadership skills until he got to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Until he had the second chance after he got out of jail. When he was initially with the Falcons, the team was kind of divided. Like some of them thought it was like this a ball hog. Some of them thought, it was okay. So, he was just, the team was whatever. It was a mediocre team. Mm-hmm. So those leadership skills, especially with football, which is one of the greatest team sports, you have to be a leader. You have to be a people's guy in order to get that command, that respect in that locker room. It just is what it is. So Lamar Jackson being what is he, 21, 22 years old and commanded that locker room. Mm-hmm. So my point is, I'll let you chime on a couple other stories that you might have, but I've seen this pattern over and over that when you buckle down, you're able to be teachable, you're able to be coachable, that's going to enhance your talent tenfold. And this, you can't rely on talent alone.
Yeah, that's true.
Talent without that proper push or that proper nudge or that proper format is wild. You're gonna have spotted success. This is what it is. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and run some examples if you got any.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember what happened before Lamar Jackson got drafted, right? Like there was so much hate, right? Like it's like, oh, is
Right.
he even going to be playing in the league as quarterback? Is he going to be a receiver because he's so fast? Blah 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 blah. And it's the Ravens, I bet that gave him a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, be like, man, everyone doesn't think I can do it. I'm going to show them that I can do it.
Right. Well, that's what he said the night he was drafted. He was like, "Yeah, I'm a," he just had that look in his eye, and I see that look because I have that look all the time when people tell me no. Is that
Mhm.
all right? I'm gonna show you. They're about to get a Super Bowl after, and they might make it. They're about to play it.
That'd be
Yeah, they
better
might
than
make it.
Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, because
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is a hard worker and he has good work ethic, talented. But we'll see. Like, that'll be
Right.
amazing if they can actually get there. Be
Right.
cool.
I mean, that chip just adds you that nice little edge. I mean, I could bear witness to Lamar in so many different ways. I mean, in certain things I'm talented, certain things I'm not talented in. But you gotta, and that's going to be the tie dye last segment, know thyself. But
Yeah.
one of the things what makes me successful is that I work hard at what I need to do in order to get results. A lot of people, they want me to go out and hang out with them and stuff like that. I'm constantly trying to get better at what I do. Even with this podcast thing, I study Joe Rogan, I study Tommy Sotomayor, I study all the big mega YouTubers, and the inflections in their voice. I study how they segue to stuff. I study how they command and ask questions. I study Zoe Williams. Just how he intricately weaves the questions in.
Mhm.
So I don't just come in there, hey, let's see what we can do. So each week I'm trying to get better and better. Trying to get better camera presence and stuff like that. I studied Deion Sanders as far as how he does his show, the prime, after football. He's one of the best hosts that you can get. So I study all of that stuff. So you got to be a student of the game, get better. That's the only way you're going to get you're going to get somewhere in life. This going in there and cutting the camera on and you're supposed to be naturally funny. That happens once in a lifetime.
For sure.
Naturally funny or naturally talented on that. That's a unicorn.
Yeah, happens.
It happens every now and then. You're natural at something, but we've been tricked, we've been, programmed, I guess is a better word, by TV into thinking that I'm gonna just pick up something and just naturally go at it and not have to practice at it.
Yep. Practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah, that's a farce. Practice makes paper.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go.
That's what it is. You got to practice at something in order to make paper. Nothing I ever done I was a natural at.
Mhm.
Just naturally could do stuff. Everything I practiced, from public speaking to writing. The only thing I would consider, I want to say natural at, is writing, but I still practice that like crazy.
For sure.
Like that business proposal I just read, it took me an hour to do.
Mhm.
So I could write like it is nothing. But it took years and years of practicing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think one things that I wasn't good at was speaking to random people when I was younger. I was like real not self conscious, but I was shy. Right, I'm just kind of borderline a little bit more shyer than most people, and so I always had a big problem like just going up to random people. And so what I did was I took a bartending job. And it forced me to be able to just go walk up to a table and be like, hey, I'm going to be taking care of you, have all, the spiel, but I did it on purpose because I knew like, okay, maybe I needed a job. And I was like, well, I can go get something that would help me later down the road in the future. I can go become a bartender and then help all my people skills. And that's what I did. And try to mold, try to learn. Yeah, like you said, no one's ever born. I mean, there are some people who are born talented, right? But like for most people, we have to always be working at it every day, every moment.
Every day.
Yep.
That's a great point because I did the same thing with sales. If you read my book, the introduction, I thought I hated sales at one point. I couldn't stand sales. I was more of a numbers guy and hard skills guy. So until I really I wanted to get better in sales because my first business, I did well, but if I would have had, the ability to train my salespeople in my absence, I was the only one that could sell. And I just sold because it was my dream, and not like that. I like to be around it. So by me working at Gallery Furniture, meeting my mentor, it forced me to put my nose into almost like, something that you don't like. And then and after a few months and a year or so, I wind up liking it. Then to love it, developing a passion about it. Because now you study now I can see the skills within it, and I can work and get better, and I can see the money increase. So just by working at sales, and boom, wrote a book on it. Pay, like I said last, to pay for my daughter's car off the book. So it just a matter of liking. Learn to love what you hate. And when you do that, that's when you get better as a person, as a human being. That's
it's not easy, right? It's hard.
Yeah, everything is hard work. That's just what it is. Like I said before the show, is that rubber band. When you pull that the further you pull that rubber band back and put stress on that rubber band, the further it goes.
Yep.
So you don't put any stress on that rubber band, it's just gonna fall out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not gonna go anywhere. Just what it is, man. And just like with the tree, as the roots of a tree burrows its way, and sometimes roots can even crack through concrete and everything like that, and anchors itself into the earth, the further it goes up.
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
The further, the harder you ground yourself, and the harder you bust through the earth, the higher your tree goes.
Yeah,
that's just what it is, man. A lot of people, you barely have any roots or anything. You don't study the art. Like I said, people want to be rappers, want to be singers, want to be
actors.
This, that, and third. They want to be YouTubers. You don't study anybody else, and that's why when the wind blows, you're out of there.
Yeah.
People do stuff 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks, and I expect to be a millionaire.
Yeah. What do you think about for like someone who has hard work and talent? What about Joaquin Phoenix? I think he's pretty good. I think he came from or Keanu Reeves is the same way, right? He's talented and he has the hard work ethic. I think those two guys are pretty good examples.
That's the winning combination. If you have a little talent and you go back with the work ethic, that's when you really succeed.
Yeah.
Like the Denzels.
Yeah, exactly.
Musically, there's so many musically, Michael Jackson, the Princes, the guys that was just obsessed with their craft. That's the ones that become icons and legends. There's levels,
And there's nothing before Michael Jackson. No one that's right when TV was blowing up around the whole world, right? And he was the first huge super pop star, right? Michael Jackson.
Right, he was the king of pop. Yeah. But there's all kind of people like Sidney Poitier as far as actors, and there's all kind of actors and actresses and just people that practice their art. I was watching yesterday the history of the Transformers. Of course, I'm a big 80s toy buff, so I was watching the Netflix documentary on the Transformers. How in Japan they developed they were in Japan way before they were in United States, and the developer just redeveloped himself and got better and tightened it up in order to do the US market, and that's when it blew up. So it's just a matter of just remanufacturing yourself, getting better and better and better. I think, and this we talked about this the last. Let's go into the last segment because this kind of goes into that. Know thyself. It all traces back to that. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn about the self. When you learn about yourself, then you can master yourself. Then you can transcend this experience.
And then you can start recognizing all the tools around you to be able to build yourself back up, right? Too.
Well, and then you want to build yourself back to deity.
Exactly. Yeah. But you have to know what it takes, right? Because a lot of people, they'll stop short. They'll be like, okay, well, that's cool. I think I know myself, but they don't really know. They have an understanding of themselves, but they don't know what it's going to take to get to that, like you said, that deity level, that
Well,
higher form.
a lot of people are in their own way. A lot of people you stop short of really knowing yourself, really becoming the observer, because you don't want to work.
Exactly.
It's a work thing. It's like working out, and it constantly needs tweaking and constantly needs work. If you point the finger outside of yourself, how can you get better yourself? Everything is your fault.
Always.
Everything. If this happens this way, it's your fault. As soon as you realize that, the better off you'll be.
Because then there's no blame, right? And like all you can do is be like, well, man, I messed up. What am I going to do about it now? So it doesn't happen again.
Right. All you can do is learn and get better. Once you realize that, instead of blaming everybody else, the energy blame, the blaming that the energy that you use to blame everybody else is wasting energy.
It is.
You're not going to get any better from that, and then a lot of people, this is another thing, that people try to fix other people before they fix themselves.
It's true.
And they're not willing to sacrifice relationships. Just like with me. Again, I abstained from relationships over a decade. Well, a personal relationship, like female relationship, working on myself. My thing is this: why would I be worried about a wife when I have I got to respond to my abilities, and part of my abilities is changing the world. So my burden is not the same as the average person's burden.
It's true.
So I had to get serious about my mission.
You can't be distracted.
And I had to sacrifice that particular part of my life in order to prepare myself for what's about to come out. Again, that root, I had to burrow that root down, because that tree is about to shoot up. In order to be able to sustain those winds that's about to come.
It's like the story of the 3 little pigs, right? Where are you going to build your foundation out of,
Right, exactly. So a lot of times those relationships, that we so sought after, and those good feelings are distractions.
Yep.
That you can't work on yourself. And that's why you got, 50 years old, 60-year-old people with the childlike mentality, because they never worked on themselves.
Yeah.
They're so distracted their whole life. They never got better as a human being. They're the same way they were as an adolescent.
And Benjamin Franklin says that's like really hard to do, right? Like it's hard to stay the same. Like you have to actually have to try to like stay the same. Like it's a natural thing for us to like be curious.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it is,
Right, but some people never evolve. In fact, that's another trick that we've been tricked on in the hood. I'm the same cat. That's a trick. You're supposed to evolve. If I'm the same way I was 10 years ago, there's a problem.
For sure. I mean, speaking of the 10-year thing, we're coming up on a new decade. Like It's actually kind of crazy to think about 10 years ago. As 19 years old, I was still a little baby,
Right. So
these 10 years have been good to me. I've been blessed.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. I'm considering today as the beginning of, because my ideals are so lofty, my goals are so lofty for 2020. I'm gonna need 13 months to accomplish them. So I'm starting today with my goals for 2020. So it's gonna be 13 months. So I got a lot of stuff on my plate this year, and I'm gonna accomplish. And then this is gonna be a real breakout year for me. I got a lot of stuff on my shoulders and again, it's patience. That's another thing. It's patience. Everybody want to be everything for success to happen overnight. That's not how this one. Do you win a Super Bowl in one day?
No, it takes a
Do you win
season,
the World
right?
Series? Do you win the World Series in one day?
No.
It's a process. That's what this is. You know, you have the wins during the regular season, you have your playoff wins, and then eventually you win your championship.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. They want to win automatically. They want to do something one day, and then all right, I get a check for $1 million.
Well, it's the millennial. Like it's harder for, especially in my generation. Like we're raised on that instant gratification. It's hard to break out of those mentalities for sure.
Right.
And it takes a lot of patience,
I've
a
had
lot of
success
dedication.
in my 20s, late 20s. I've had success in my 30s. Now I'm in my early 40s. Now it's time to win a couple of championships. Sometimes that's how it takes.
Mhm.
Put together a few seasons. It's like when you come into the league, like I said, like these new franchises that came into the league, these like say the Panthers or whatever. It took them a while before they got to the Super Bowl. You don't give the Super Bowl the first year.
Unless you're
You
hockey.
got to build your team. You got to build your life.
Yeah.
I tweeted out the other day, man. In order to live life, you must earn one.
Mhm.
People want to be automatically entitled to these riches and the top 1% stuff because you're you. I don't get it. You have to work at these things. You have to work to be better. You have to work at everything that you want in life. You want to be a great dad, you have to work at it. You want to be a great husband, you have to work at it. You want to have a great marriage, you got to work at it. You want to have a great relationship with your family, you got to work at it. Nothing is automatically given. That's what people don't understand. People want to automatically be given things being cruise control and this stuff just plop out of the sky. It's not how this works. And that's why people look back and they get angry with everything around them when it's you.
I know. And they'll always get angry too. Like, and it's like, it's very hard to, because they don't know themselves, so no one's ever taught them how not to be angry. So
that's the first reaction. Anger is the first reaction because you don't have the training to deal with situations otherwise. So anger is the easiest and the first reaction. That's animalistic. So a lot of people, that's how they do. They lash out at other people because they're not satisfied with their life. But it's you that didn't work at this when you had the chance.
Yeah.
I'd rather do it my way. I'd rather, quote unquote, sacrifice this fun until I get a certain position because I got to, and then I have control of what fun I want to have now at this point. I sacrificed for 10 or 15 years in order to get this. A lot of people want to have this fun in the 20s and they're not stable. I want to have fun. I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to, have this chick. I want to have that chick. You look about it. Look at you build. You can't build a good house on a weak foundation.
For sure,
it's gonna come crumbling down. Might look good for a while, but soon you start seeing those cracks in the walls,
or the ground shifting. It's like, oh, yeah.
You didn't build your roots. You didn't make your foundation solid enough. Especially for us, with this particular paradigm that we're in, we got this whole skin color dynamic with black and brown people against people with pale skin color. We have to even more sacrifice at least one generation to where, all right, let's stabilize this thing. Somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb. Let's stop the bleeding. Let's stabilize this thing and let's go to the next generation on a different note. At least I got the solid foundation.
Yeah, and it's cool too because like everything that's already here for us is here, right? So like it's our jobs to be able to build for the next generation, right? So we're not building anything for ourselves, we're building it for that next generation.
Well, I kind of disagree with that. I think the next generation is your stuff.
I mean, if you think about it, that's the idea of children. But I mean, it's a metaphor.
That's you in a different form. Because energy this shifts around. Mm-hmm. So energy never dies. I mean, it's never die means to split, but that's whole nother lecture. But
Mhm.
Uh, energy can never be destroyed.
It just keeps on going.
It just keeps on going. So that it really is you're cleaning the room. You're keeping the house clean for yourself next time, the next guest. That's all it is, And you want to actually, I want to leave the house better than when I got it.
Mhm.
That's my goal. If everybody could do that, then pretty soon you got a mansion.
Oh, for sure. The world would be such a better place, right? Oh my
Right.
gosh.
So don't trash the house. Leave it better for because it's you that's coming behind you. So it's your kids, kids, whatever. So leave the house better than what you found it. It's just what it is. It's proper being a grown person, a grown human being. Stop being selfish. Know thyself. Know what you are. A lot of people don't. They rather know, and I'm gonna say this and let's get off. They rather know about everybody else's business than know yourself.
And that's gossip's bad. Imagine that gossip is the worst.
Or gossip, you watch, these different movies. You're into everything else except your life. Like there's grown people that don't even know, what's in their body and how it functions and so on and so forth. And you're 40, 50 years old. You don't know these things. But all the lyrics to this song.
Or all the football players' names.
All the football players, all these different things, so you got to know yourself. You got to know what it is you're here for, what it is you're here to do. If you don't even know that, then of course you're gonna walk around clueless. It just is what it is. And then you have no owner. Again, the whole thing of the show is ownership of yourself. If you don't have ownership of yourself, forget everything else. You're never gonna be stable enough. You're never gonna have a foundation that's stable enough to build anything else if you don't know yourself.
Yep. And just one final note on just to say, and if you know yourself, you know the universe, and if you know the universe, you know God. It's all the same thing. It's like you have to dig deep. It's a long and tough road ahead, that's for sure. But it starts with knowing who you are.
Again, like I always say, God is a verb. You build the kingdom of God. You build the kingdom of hard work. You build your kingdom through hard work.
Mm-hmm.
This just is what it is. That's how you build your kingdom. You're not automatically entitled to a kingdom.
Yeah.
Only kings have kingdoms.
Yeah. It's still like that today. Don't ever let anyone ever tell you it's not like that. It's still like that.
People want to be kings and queens, and you hadn't built anything.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. My nickname's Jon Snow. I'm here to lead.
Right. So I mean, it's crazy. You want to be this king and queen, and you just want to have somebody else hand it to you. People get married, so he's gonna do it or she's gonna do it. Crazy. And the wonder why everything fall apart for them. Again, until you work on yourself, it's never going to happen. Until you outdo yourself, till you get better as a human being. Once you get better as a human being, you reach a point in the ground where you see that everything is you.
Yep.
All this vibration, everything is one entity. It's all harmonious play. Once you get to that nirvana state, then you can understand what it is this really is. A lot of people, you have no clue. Y'all have no clue what this is. And you get mad at everybody else because you don't have a clue. Work on yourself, and then the answers will be revealed. Nobody can give them to you.
And then come back and watch our video and see if you've learned something else, right?
Right. Well, that's the thing. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about this at all. We called out our own niche. A lot of people, that actually watch the show tell me this. We really got our own lane. Nobody's talking about this. This is the only thing when you're gonna get some direct, no BS medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm not beating around the bush. It's work. It is work. There's no magic diet pill. This is what it is. There's no magic diet pill. You're gonna have to work on yourself.
Yep.
I worked on myself. I'm a totally different person than I was 10 years ago.
Yeah. And so I guess I would recommend for everyone out there just to try to write something down that you want to change about yourself and apply it to this year coming up. I think that'd be a good way to do that.
let's talk to the base people. Let's talk to the people that what do you think? Well, see, it's hard because a lot of people are so stuck they can't even see that it's themselves.
Yeah.
So they're not even gonna be able to answer the question what they don't like about themselves.
Yeah. So then maybe we should do the reverse. Like, what do you like about yourself, right? What are your best qualities, and then try to see if you can make them better.
Maybe I don't know. People are so stuck on themselves. Until you get to that honesty stage, the observer, where hey, listen, that argument that I got into with the person the other day, actually, this is what I could have done better. This is really, I could have did this better. Or I could have did that better. Until you get honest, instead of that, he did this, he did this, he did that he was wrong with it. If you're still in that mind frame, you got a long way to go.
Yeah, it's true.
So you got a long way to go. It took me years of really analyzing myself and to work on my, it's not really flaws, it's to work on the energies to be harmonious within this play. It's not really flaws because nothing is here coincidental or accidental. That's in my energy to overcome that. So that particular barrier it could propel you or it could sink you. It's up to you.
Sure.
So I don't really want to say it's a flaw. I chose to analyze these things and let everything propel me into a nirvanic state.
Yeah. And you'll realize what it is once you get there. So
right. So it just is what it is, man. And we're not gonna keep y'all too long. Again, we passed the mark anyway. Again, I hope this makes sense to a lot of people. A lot of people we're talking Greek to right now. We don't understand.
Well, it's like I guess if you pull it back full circle, just to bring it down a little bit, it's like if you want to start playing football, when do you start? 7th and 8th grade, right? Why do people stop playing football? Because they think they're too busy? Well, just keep on playing football and see where it takes you.
Or like I said, you're not gonna play bitty ball and then next week win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It takes years and years of working on your craft, workouts, spring, summer, winter workouts, all these workouts, getting drafted. Well, let's start bitty ball. Bitty ball, growing, taking care of your body, getting into junior high, dominating there, dominating high school, dominating college. Get into the league, dominating there, then you might get into the Super Bowl with helping your team.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot in order for that one moment. And a lot of people want this moment without the work, and it's not how it's going to happen. The more work, the sweeter the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It just is what it is. If you get some, think about it. That's why we're wired how we are. If we can get it easy, a lot of times we don't want it. The more we have to work for it, the more we cherish it and value it. That's how we're wired.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to win these championships, you want, you got to get your relationship game together. Relationships win championships. If nobody wants to be around you, nobody likes you, you don't even like yourself, how are you going to develop relationships?
It's true.
You know what I mean? So nobody likes you. You have flaws. You have, you're a detriment to not only yourself but people around you. How are you going to form these relationships when nobody wants to be around you?
Yeah, it's true.
So
you got to start working with yourself.
You got to work on yourself. You got to be able to get along with everybody. You got to be able to get along with anybody. It just is what it is. And you got to, as you go, you got to build. These relationships don't automatically come because you're you. It takes cultivating. Mm-hmm. Just like a harvest and shit. I don't mean to curse, but I'm passionate about this. It's a harvest. You got to cultivate these fruit. Pick the weeds away and fertilize it and talk to it and send product. Then you could get the fruit. So it takes, even with these relationships, it takes work on these relationships. This is what it is. You just go, all right, I got a girl. She likes the way my hair looked good that day. So, all right, she's going to want to marry me.
Right. I think it's funny. So.
It takes more. It takes more than that, man. We're delusional.
Yep. And so for all the young kids out there, in the culture of everything wanting to happen now, just step back and breathe a little bit, and
Right.
work. Yep.
Everything you put again, I said it on last week. You make you a couple of plays, you get a few first downs. Learn to savor those first downs. Enjoy those first downs. You get a few first downs, you get a few more touchdowns. Learn to savor those touchdowns. Then you get a few. You got a lot of touchdowns. You win the game. Learn to savor those wins,
Mm-hmm.
big or small. Wherever you win, you win. Then you can win your championship. But you trying to go to 0 to 100 like it's nothing. It won't happen. You look back, you lose. You're looking like the Bengals.
You have to start all over. Yep.
You have to implode the team and all that stuff, and you're 30, 40 years old, and you're wondering why nothing's happening for you. You never worked on yourself. You never got better. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Again, I'm gonna let Steve go ahead first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Steve, tell them where they could contact you. And so on.
Yeah, Steven Contreras 90 on Instagram and Steven Contreras on Facebook. And just make sure you guys check out our YouTube page, Power of Ownership, Billionaire Loan Officer, and click that like button. So.
Right. Let me plug real fast. All right, so HOCmortgage.com. If you want to get a mortgage, go ahead and check that out right now. Go ahead, fill out the application. I will get back to you on that. If you want to get accountability coaching, you're trying to get better for 2020. That's the only way you're going to get better. The best have coaches. Go to billionaireloanofficer.com. I'll offer accountability coaching, sales training. If you need a motivational speaker, so on and so forth, that's where you book me on billionaireloanofficer.com. Again, at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go ahead and follow us, even on YouTube. Again, we have the contest going between now and December 24th. You got 24 more days to subscribe, and we're going to give away a 50-inch TV. So go ahead and subscribe. Trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. Any questions, just call me. Again, 832-775-8357. You can call me 24/7. Again, don't forget I charge. So you want me to analyze your whole situation, be prepared. Cash App and PayPal, so on and so forth. I charge. So, now if you're trying to get a mortgage, then there's no charge for that. But you want general advice, business advice, so on and so forth. Hey, there's a charge for that. Again, the book Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession on sale right now. Amazon, $13.33, $6 off. Get it right now before the end of the year. So my next book coming out in March. The following book coming out before the end of the year. So I got 2 books coming out 2020. That's the goal. I'm not going to keep you too long. I think we went through everything. Remember, God is a verb, and personal responsibility is your only savior. And with that, I'm going to say
peace.